Good day and greetings to our lecturer, Ms. Nur Safarina. Today, we will present for our assignment for the course Ethics and Law for Health Science Professional. The code course is LPG 6422. Our presentation discuss climate change as an ethical issue linked to environmental justice using the principle of justice, virtue theory, and deep ecology. We explain why high-emitting countries have a moral responsibility to support climate adaptations, sustainable water management, and fair resettlement to protect both people and the environment. In this slide, I would like to introduce our group members. Each members contribute to different sections of the assignment, including ethical theories, health impacts, sustainable development goals, and policy analysis related to climate justice. So here is the list of our group members. So the first one is Azwan bin Roslan. The second one is me, myself, Audrey Beatrice Anak Kais. The third one is Dorothy Anna Ala. And the last one is Miss Nguleling. Let's begin.
Hi everyone, I am Lilin. Today I will talk about climate change as an ethical issue. So this is the introduction about the climate change. Climate change is not only a scientific problem but also a moral issue. This is because the people who cause the least pollution often suffer the most from its effects. This relates to environmental justice, which is means fairness between countries. Developed nations have a responsibility to help vulnerable communities affected by climate change. From virtue theory, we are encouraged to act with responsibility, compassion, and moral courage to protect the environment. So for deep ecology, it reminds us that all life holds intrinsic value, which it teaches us that all living things have value and deserve respect, not only for humans only. So climate change requires ethical action to protect people, nature, and future generation.
Now I will talk about virtue theories and climate justice. Virtue theories focus on moral values such as responsibility, care, fairness, and respect for nature. The environmental education is a learning process that aims to increase public's awareness of environmental issues and promote sustainable behavior. This involves scientific knowledge of the environment, skill to analyze problems, and commitments to take action. For example, community cleans up programs and free plantings activities show virtues lies responsibilities and skills towards the environment. Next, I will talk about the impacts of climate change on human health. Book climate change does not only affect the environment, but it also has a serious effects on our physical and mental health. The first effect is in increase in waterborne diseases. Flood in polluted water sources spreads disease like diarrhea and cholera. For example, major floods in Kelantan, many cases of waterborne disease were reported. The second impact is a food insecurity and malnutrition. Climate damage to crops reduce food supplies and affects nutrition. Extreme heats in Kedah have affected rice productions, leading to lower food supplies and higher food price. The third impact is heat stress and respiratory problems. The rising temperatures and a poor air quality can harm human health. For example, fires caused by a forest fire often leads to breathing problems, especially among children and elderly. Hot weather can also cause a heat stroke, especially for outdoor workers. The last impact is a mental health issues due to the displacement. Losing homes because of climate-related disaster can cause stress, anxiety, and emotional trauma. Flood victims in Malaysia often experience stress, anxiety, and depressions, especially when they have to stay in evacuation centers for a long time. The climate change has a serious impact on health in Malaysia. Therefore, we must raise awareness to take actions and protect the environment for the healthier futures.
The Sustainable Development Goal, or as we know as SDG, is a global goal created to improve human being and protect the environment. The climate change show the slow progress on key SDG, take, such as health, clean water, food security, sustainable community, and the climate action, especially in vulnerable regions. There's a five SDG. One is poor health income increase. The second one is a crop failure causes hunger. The third one is a lack of clean water and sanitation. And the other one is unsafe and sustainable city. And the last one is the weak climate exchange. For the deep ecological perspective, nature has increased value. It's mean important even without human use. Deep ecology explains that humans, a part of nature, must respect natural limits instead of exploiting the environment. For example, river and wetland are living to be that support life. Imagine them uh, can be harm ecosystem and water security for community, and it's not good for our life. We take the water management and IRWM. So the first one is the integrated water resource management. It's an approach that manage water resource in a coordinate a way to ensure long-term sustainability. The second one is holistic and sustainable water planning. Promote long-term planning that balance water use, conservation, and environmental protection. And the third one is consider ecosystem and human. Recognize that healthy system are the support health and water security. So this has involved transition from traditional top-down control to integrate approach focusing on sustainability through initiatives like Water Sector Transformation 2014.
Hello, we meet again, and my topic is policy limits carrying capacity. So, here, carrying capacity refers to the ability of the environment to support human populations and resource use without causing long-term damage. So, climate change has reduced this capacity in many vulnerable regions due to drought, floods, sea level rise, and ecosystem damage. When planning climate adaptation, water management, and resettlement policies, governments must consider these environmental limits. If policies ignore carrying capacity, they have solved short-term human problems but create long-term environmental harm, such as water shortage and ecosystem collapse. From the perspective of virtue theory, ethical policy making requires prudence, justice, and responsibility. High emitting countries must support adoption policies that are carefully planned and sustainable. Justice also requires that resettlement protects displaced people while not placing unfair pressure on host communities or future generations. While deep ecology reminds us that nature has intrinsic value and must be respected. Ecosystems should not be overused or exploited to meet human demands. Therefore, ethical policies must balance human needs with environmental protection. High emitting nations have a moral duty to support sustainable solutions that respect ecological limits and promote long-term resilience. For the conclusions, climate change is not only an environmental issue but also an ethical issue related to justice and responsibility. Vulnerable communities and ecosystems suffer the most even though they contribute the least to global emissions. Virtue theory show that high emitting nations have a moral duty to act with responsibility, compassion, and fairness. At the same time, deep ecology reminds us that nature has intrinsic value and must be respected and protected. Supporting climate adaptation, sustainable water management, and fair resettlement is therefore a moral obligation. Ethical climate action is essential to protect human health, the environment, and future generations. That's all from our group. Thank you for your attention. Bye.